Hi, my name's Chris Scott, and this interview was recorded for the UK Wine Show. For the latest news and terms and conditions, go to ukwineshow.co.uk. Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm here with Christophe Coquard. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Let's look at the 10 Cru then. The main ones I think of are things like Morgan, Moulin Vent, and is that how you say it?
Moulin Vent, Morgon, yes. I mean, the simple thing in Beaujolais is that the classification is very simple. You have obviously the Beaujolais vineyard is obviously known throughout the world through the Beaujolais Nouveau. We want the world to realize that the Beaujolais vineyard is not only Beaujolais Nouveau, it's also Beaujolais that you can drink, which you can drink all year long. And the Beaujolais vineyard is also Beaujolais Village and 10 crus. 10. It's like 10 fingers. And altogether, it makes 12 appellations. 10 crus plus Beaujolais Village and Beaujolais. 12 appellations, like 12 months in a year.
Yep.
So 10 crus, 10 fingers, 12 appellations altogether, 12 months in a year.
So the main ones, well, the ones I always think of, the Moulin, Morgan, and Fleury. They're the three
yes,
that
Fleury is obviously very popular, not only in the UK but also in the American markets. The result is that it's the most expensive when it comes to buy 1 hectoliter of Fleury. You would obviously buy it at a higher price than the Chirouble or the Chenin, for example. But the reason
Fleury always seems lighter and more feminine or floral, if you
floral, and as a result, because it's floral, it's more feminine as well.
Yeah.
But yes, that's true. I mean, they all have.
The soil's different, Fleury.
Yes, I mean they all have different types of soil, and once again, the difference is not due to the variety. The Fleury, Brouilly, Côte de Brouilly, Saint-Amour, Juliana, Morgon, Moulin Vent, and so on, they all use the Gamay. What's the difference is the soil, indeed, and the soil is not the same in Fleury than in Moulin Vent, where there's a lot of manganese. In Brouilly, there's a lot of granites. That's why it can have some minerality. In Juliana, there's a lot of I don't know how you say, some schist, some kist.
Yeah, schist.
Schist. That's what makes the difference between all these crus.
So is Fleury on sort of more sandy soils? Is that?
It is sort of sandy. Not as sandy as in Moulin Vent, for example, where it's really sandy, like sand, like what you have in Roland Garros. It's you can't keep it in your hands almost. It's like very 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 light sand, and if you pour a bucket of water on that sort of soil, the water would just go straight down, and the result basically means that it's a very poor soil. And the vines have to really go far deep in the soil in order to get some freshness and to get all the minerals and everything, and the water as well. And the result is that the grapes are more concentrated. That's what makes the difference. That's why we said, for example, talking about Moulin Vent, that Moulin Vent c'est le roi des crus du Beaujolais. It's the king of the cru Beaujolais because it tastes, smells a bit like some of the Cru Bourguignon, the wines from Burgundy. It has some hints of Pinot Noir, even though it's not Pinot Noir.
Yeah, it's interesting you say about Fleury, because I always think of sandy soils creating lighter styles of wines.
Not really. No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
No. So when it's sand, it's basically very poor. There's a good drainage system, and it often gives very concentrated grapes, and as a result, if there's a good winemaking process with a bit of extraction, a longer maceration, you would have wines with more depth, more structure, and more aging potential.
I tried a Morgan. Is it Morgan?
Morgon, yes.
Morgon.
Yes, that's right.
Morgan.
Morgon.
Morgon. Earlier, and I had one that was really quite gutsy. It was almost getting into Australian Shiraz styles with loads of vanilla-y, oaky things.
Because some of the soils are appropriate for keeping and aging, with the longer maceration and a better sort of tannin and color extraction, you can for some of the wines, for some of the cuvées, which we call it, you can age the wine in oak, either oak barrels or casks, larger contents, which obviously then gives a little bit of wood character, and then I wouldn't say you would lose the Gamay style, but you would have this extra dimension with a little bit of vanilla character, with a little bit of wood character, and it could taste like some of the new world, if I may say, even though it's still very typical of Beaujolais for keeping.
Is oak not used usually though?
Not really, because as far as I'm concerned, for what I sell, what I offer, what I choose, what I taste for Maison Coquard, I always look for wines which would wines for the 12 appellations, Beaujolais, Beaujolais Village, obviously, but also for the Cru. I always look for wines which have a typical lovely fruit base. For me, the fruit base, it has to have some fruits. Every Cru Beaujolais has to have some fruit. The fruits are different depending on the Cru, and also, as I said, it's a fruit base. It's the base, but then depending on the Cru, you would have other things other than just the fruits. For Beaujolais and Beaujolais Village, you almost have only the fruits. For the other wines, you would have then other flavors and other things on the side of the fruit, like flowery character for Chirouble, for example, which often has some very distinctive perfumes of peony flower or violets. Whereas for the Moulin à Vent, then you would still have the fruit base with dark berry fruits, but you would also have some spices, peppery character, licorice.
Oh, okay.
For the Brouilly and Côte de Brouilly, because the soil is very granite, then you would have some sort of minerality to the wine along with the fruits. You see, that's what makes it so funny and so exciting. And I invite people not only to drink and enjoy Beaujolais like an everyday drink, if I may say, for the fruits, but then go and taste and discover the Cru Beaujolais, which all have their own definition and their own typical taste.
Yeah, I always find things like, if it's got a lot of granite, you find that the granite absorbs the heat during the day and radiates it back, so you find the wines are a bit richer and often a wee bit heavier.
And quite ripe. Very ripe.
Riper, and also maybe a smidgen less acidity, because you lose a wee bit of that acidity.
That's why it makes the Brouilly and the Côte de Brouilly so smooth and soft. Not only, I couldn't say, generally speaking, that Brouilly has less acidity than a Régnier or a Fleury or so on, but it's true that maybe, and that's due probably to the granite, it gives... It softens it up. It makes it rounder and smoother.
Yep.
And the Brouilly, for example, which is popular, it's known in the UK, but it's also it's very popular in Paris. The people in Paris love the Brouilly because it's so smooth and the tannins caresses your throat. It's very smooth and with acidity, but just enough, not too much. It's true. And Brouilly is also and again, you see, as we talk, we go through all the different crus, and you can see that all the crus have their own style.
There's two or three crus I don't really know. There's what's that one?
Chirouble. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Chirouble is one of the lovely cru which I personally like very much, and I offer lovely cuvée of Chirouble with a very distinctive label. And if anyone wants to find out about Maison Coquard and the wine and the styles. The style of my wines is obviously inside the bottle, what you taste, to drink. The identity of my wine is also on the bottle. And every label has design made from an artist who's tried to design an artwork which would symbolize the appellation, every single appellation.
Oh, okay.
My bottle of Chirouble, for example, has a very distinctive flower, very distinctive design of the peony flower on the label, because we often say that the Chirouble is very, very extremely flowery.
Oh, okay.
Flowery. Why is that? Because the vines of the vineyards is located quite high in altitude. In fact, it's the highest cru in altitude, and it often gives very light and fruity, but not only fruity and also flowery sort of character to the wine.
Yeah, a lot of wines develop as they ripe. They start florally. And then they go into their more red fruits and then darker fruits. So
that's right.
Higher altitude, cooler climate. So you're going to be a bit further down the process.
Just to come back to Chirouble, the reason why you don't know it so much, and that's probably the case of some of the British consumers, is that it's not easy to pronounce. It's probably the main reason. Fleury is easy to pronounce, and it sounds so romantic, so nice. Fleury,
it does.
And Brouilly. It's easy for you, but Chirouble, you would say Chiroubles. You never know. So So you wouldn't know how to pronounce it. So I wouldn't say you wouldn't bother buying it, but it's obviously it's not as accessible. The name is not as accessible, but I guarantee you the wine is accessible and is worth really discovering.
I tried quite a few of these. What are these?
Juliana.
Juliana.
Yeah, that's yeah. You can find some Juliana in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried a few of them.
In fact, here at the fair.
I probably tried yours because I tried quite a few of them.
Yes.
I thought they were almost the middle ground, really. If Morgon is quite big and fleury to me is a wee bit lighter.
When I organize a tasting to a journalist who comes to my place, buyer, distributor, whoever, a private customer, I would obviously start from the lightest to the richest.
Yep.
And I would obviously put the Morgon just before the Moulin à Vent, because it's true that the Morgon is a fairly rich, sort of full-bodied style of Cru Beaujolais.
Out of interest, you said you start from lightest to heaviest. Can you just go through these regions going lightest to heaviest?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, if I had a tasting to organize right now for you, I would start after Beaujolais and Beaujolais Village. I would put the Régnier.
Yep.
As a first cru to taste. I wouldn't say it's very much like a Beaujolais Village because it is a cru, but it has a little bit more depth and more concentration than a Beaujolais Village. But to be honest, let's be honest with you, I may on a blind tasting be confused myself and think that the Régnier could be a Beaujolais Village or the other way around. But tasting is you have to always have to be very humble for tasting. But generally speaking, Régnier is a little bit richer than a Beaujolais Village, but close to a Beaujolais Village.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would move to Brouilly and Côte de Brouilly with the lovely, smooth, elegant character and the minerality to the wine and the fruit, but still very fresh, dark berry fruits and lovely, sort of low acidity. Then I would move to probably Fleury. Fleury is also, as we said, sort of flowery and very feminine. Maybe I should have put the Chirouble before the Fleury. And then probably Juliana, along with Saint-Amour. It has, as always, a good fruit base, including some flowery character, including a little bit of licorice and sort of spicy character. The Saint-Amour is always very, very elegant, with also lots of very distinctive floral character, musky sort of floral flowers. And then I would move to Morgon and Chenas and Moulin à Vent for the last three, which would really keep the longest with more tannins. Always the fruit base, but more on a jammy, cooked character,
right,
jammy fruit, sort of strawberry jam and things like this, along with a lot of some sort of leather character, musk, all these sort of things. And particularly when you let the wine age, then it really moves to more peppery, more of the
spicy.
Yeah, spicy. Well, I don't have all the words, particularly in English, but le sous-bois is like the la fougère, the fern, or the sous-bois is like when the mushrooms character, sort of things.
Yep. Undergrowth.
That's right, undergrowth, sous-bois, exactement. There we go. So that's how I would organize the tasting to you.
Okay, now that sounds good. And you said that the Moulin à Vent and the Morgon age quite well.
Yes.
When would one of those more age-worthy Beaujolais be good to drink? You know, what's the target age for them, and what can they last out to?
Now, in that respect, our wines can age, but they are sort of medium keeping sort of wines, not long-term keeping. Medium term.
What's that? 5 years or?
Yes, I mean a cru like even a Régnier or Chirouble or Brouilly, Côte de Brouilly can easily keep for 4 or 5 years, and you would still enjoy it. You would the fresh fruit would move to sort of a more jammy fruit, and it's still very nice. But I would personally, even for myself, I would not really keep a Brouilly, Côte de Brouilly, or the Chirouble over 4 or 5 years. I'm not saying he couldn't keep longer, but I can't see the point because you must enjoy them with that sort of right balance. When it comes to the last cru that I mentioned, for the longest ones for keeping, like Chenas and Morgon and Moulin à Vent, you can keep them for up to 8 to 10 years to the maximum.
I tried a 2004 Morgon on your stand earlier, and I felt the fruit was really starting to fall away, but it still had some nice flavour there, and it was almost I found it quite hard to describe, but I almost started looking for things like prunes and descriptors like that, as opposed to
plums.
Yeah, plumsy,
Plummy.
prunesy sort of thing, as opposed to more sort of cherries or more that vivid fruit that you get.
And kirsch. How do you say kirsch? Kirsch. Yeah, cherry character. Cherry in that's the cherry that you keep in alcohol.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, as I said again, you can always have a wonderful surprise opening a bottle of Moulin à Vent, a 20-year-old bottle. It could be a true, fantastic experience. Generally speaking, I think they're not wines that you must forget in your cellar.
I think we'll wrap it up there, Christophe.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.